United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, I'd like to entertain, the chair's entertaining the motion to appoint Assistant Superintendent Bill Linville as Secretary Pro Tem for this meeting in the absence of Superintendent Midkiff.
So moved.
Mr. Baker?
Second.
Second by Ms. Smith. Is that an all yes vote?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Midkiff's a little under the weather, but he'll be back. Hopefully just one of these. When he's well, when he needs to come back. Okay, let's approve the minutes of the March 20th, 2018 statutory meeting and the March 20th, 2018 regular meeting. Larry made the motion.
Second.
Second by Rowdy. All yes?
Yes.
All right. See if he's moving right along there. We're
You expect us to be able to see that from here, Ray?
That's it. Nobody signed it.
oh,
Since Bill's not here, I thought I'd better jump all over
you're doing a
that.
good
since
job.
he's not sitting
And we may even try you on personnel, who knows? Okay, we don't have anyone signed in this evening, or this afternoon to speak. So let's go to the information reports. And Ray Ellis, Finance Director, is going to provide an update on county finances. Mr. Ellis.
You know, I thought I was gonna have to do personnel today. We've already had that conversation.
I know, that's the reason I said that.
The last board meeting, I was sick. I tried to stay away from everybody. I hope Jeff didn't catch that from me.
Scoot
If he did, he caught it from about 20 feet away. Now, my voice is terrible and I'll cough till June, but I'm fine.
Scoot that up here so Larry can hear you.
Oh,
Larry, we'll turn you around so you can
can you hear me? Okay. Again, I'm gonna be really brief. There's not that much to go over. Our cash position right now, as of today, we're almost $3.1 million. That's down a little bit from the end of February, and the information you have in front of you in the packet that I handed out. At the end of February, it was 3.6 million. Hopefully, that cash number goes up. When I look at our tax revenue for the month of March, and if you look on page, I think it's page 5, you can see, if you look at each year, at the end of February, we're either above or right with all the other years. But in March, the last year was my first March here, and we got 2 sets of tax checks. That $4.5 million that you see under 1718 is now 5.1 million that we've received up through today. We have one, an excess levy and current levy check that came in, and I can't remember that amount. I think it was $550,000. Last year, that same set of checks that came in for the regular and excess levy was around $720,000. So I was worried about this month. I wanted to see where we were at in comparison to last year and the year before.
Well, let me ask you a question about this page. It has general fund and regular taxes, and then it has excess levy current year, and it has 111,000 some odd dollars. Now, is that just for, what period of time does that $11,000?
The 111?
Yeah, 100. In that, in 1718, it has 111,000 for the excess levy. And when was that generated, that amount of money?
Well, you're looking at the third number down. That's a regular tax supplemental for the current year. And then if you look below.
Oh, I'm sorry, so I'm not, okay, general
Yeah.
fund doesn't have a line, okay. So the excess levy one is the 2,083,000.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So that's always gonna be a little bit higher.
Okay, well, because we're trying to get to roughly 3.5.
Well, there's about 3 numbers that you gotta add up to get to that
Oh,
number.
get that, okay.
Yeah, you gotta add up everything under excess levy, and there's 3 different sets of numbers there.
Categories, okay, all right.
So,
good.
we were on pace. Here's the problem that I've ran into. And I've sent an email to Janet Linville at the sheriff's office, because she's the one that sends these checks out. last year in March, and then the previous year in April, it came in the first week of April. Last year, it came near the end of March. There's a public utility set of checks that we get, that they get from the state, that sends them in, and then, you know, it's for regular current levy, and then the excess levy. Last year, those totaled $655,000, and the year before, it was $700,000. We have not got those in yet, so we're way below where we were on this day last year, simply because of that. But what I'm afraid of, because of our regular tax check was so much lower than the previous year, I'm worried that that's not gonna be quite as high. I don't know that. I've tried to get that information, and she hadn't replied yet, but when I know, you'll know. That's at the next board meeting, because, you know, if that's $200,000 or $300,000 less than what we've been getting, then that's another concern for us, you know, to reach that number for our excess levy, well, for our collections altogether. So, you know, that's just a concern for me, because we've talked about this every time I've done a presentation. We've always talked about the revenue collection. You know, it goes back to what happened with Boone County. We want to make sure we're okay. But, I mean, I just don't know till we get that to see if we'll get a better picture of where we're going to be at the end of the year. And hopefully that check comes in, and it's, you know, a nice set of 2 checks, total about $700,000 or $800,000, but nobody seems to know. And the first time I asked, she had no way of knowing until they came into her. So it's just something the state does. And I didn't even realize that till I had that conversation with her. I thought it was something that they generated based off collections, but it's something at the state level. So I'm really anxious to see that. So, but that's really all I had to say. You know, our cash is okay. I'll do another drawdown in about a week, and it'll be another, you know, $500,000 from federal funds. So I think our collection's gonna be okay as far as, our cash is gonna be okay, but I'm worried about that next set of checks. So March's checks were a lot larger than what they normally are, you know, 500 and, I think it was $550,000 this month. Next month, our regular collections for our regular levy and excess levy should be really healthy as well. We'll finish up the year strong, I hope. I'd like to get back to where we were a year ago or 2 years ago. So, but right now, we're far below, simply because last year's public utility checks that came in, they were even superior to the 2 years before that. So something happened last year that it helped us out a lot. But I just don't know if we're gonna get there to that amount. So,
I mean, as far as our, what's the calendar for our budget for next year? Like, when will you be?
it'd be the last board meeting in May. I'll present it. I could probably, if I get it done, I could probably present it before that, and you just approve it on the last board meeting.
Well, no, whatever, I'm just curious what your calendar typically is.
Well, I only had one, and it was tough. So, I don't know, hopefully I get that done earlier than what I did.
I mean, you kind of assuming it's gonna be sometime in May, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I finished up about 5 minutes before the board meeting last year. I'm gonna try for at least 10, 15 this year. Yeah, that's, I'm setting the goal maybe a little too high, I don't know, but, yeah, hopefully I have that done earlier. That was a process I had to learn how Weavis works. I mean, I know what a budget is, but I don't think Weavis did. So I had to learn what it knew and figure it out from that. And, hopefully I can remember most of what I learned. I really hope I took notes, because that's been, you know, a year ago. But that was a tough process. The next time I talk, and maybe it's whenever you approve the levy rates, we're gonna have to have a discussion, and I'd rather not do it tonight till I talk with Jeff. But we're gonna have to figure out, you know, how we're gonna cut down our levy. You know, because if we have to budget for less than what the original levy call is. So that means more stuff has to be cut, and I think I have an idea. I've talked to Jeff, I've talked to Darlene. I think we got a plan to where we're not gonna have to affect anybody. So, I'll let you know more about that the next time.
And as we've done that for this current year, right?
We have, But I think I can alleviate some of the issues we had with capital improvements and maybe handle that a little bit different. You know, after seeing all this for a year, I think I can see where things could be, you know, a little bit different. Hopefully it pans out, but we'll talk more about that, at least by the time you approve those levy rates. I'll have a little presentation for you.
Anybody have anything else? Okay, Larry, do you have anything, Mr. Ellis?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only report we have today, so let's go to the administrative section. Have a motion, please? On the Fred.
I'll second.
Second by Rowdy. Bill?
Okay, item A, out-of-state travel for Jerry Cremins, July 21st through 26th to Frisco, Texas, to attend the
I'm turning you back around here.
You probably just took them off speaker. Get that hand cut and one thing up down maybe.
Yeah, are you on there? No, let's call him back. He probably thinks he did something wrong.
Ask him what he did.
Yeah.
Larry, did you fall?
Okay.
We heard a thump and you were gone.
Larry, you there?
Yeah, well,
We were gonna ask you the same thing. Fred wanted to know if you dropped the phone or anything.
nothing happened here.
Well, I'll admit to being the guilty party.
I will start over. Item A, out-of-state travel for Jerry Cremins, July 21st through 26th to Frisco, Texas, to attend the Automotive Service of Excellent Instructor Training Conference. No funds required, it's paid out of school funds. Item B, school volunteers, who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones for athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings, and have completed volunteer orientation. Item C, the following textbooks for the 30-day public review and comment as recommended by the Textbook Adoption Committee. 6-year adoption. Textbooks are available at the county office for public review. And Mr. Pritchard's not here, but I wanted to share with you that they brought in different grade levels, and all the grade levels picked the same company, which really made the series there, that way it'll flow a lot better, and also it'll make a whole lot easier doing the textbook training too, because having one, we just bring in, and we, Mr. Pritchard, I think, has that scheduled for August 1st and 2nd, is that right, Mr. King? To bring in teachers for training on the textbook, so that's a real plus that we're using the same company. And they all worked independently, all groups, but they come up with the same company, so that's good.
Now, Bill, do you know, are these in a format of both the textbook and some other media?
I think there will be other resources, and I think that's the reason they do the training, to show what online resources are there.
I thought in the past there'd been some where there were optional, do you know, Mr.
Yeah, there are also some consumables and manipulatives and those kind of things that come along with the different series that the folks will work with them on and show how to utilize those and then how to access the digital stuff.
Digital, I couldn't think of that term, the digital, okay, good. Okay, does anybody have any other questions about the administrative part? If not, then is that an all yes on the administrative section?
Yeah.
Go to the finance section then, need a motion, please?
I'll move.
Carol? Second by Carol, motion by Smith, second by Curry. Okay, Ray, you're on again.
Schedule of invoices totaling $163,126.87, and that list is attached. If you got any questions, just let me know.
That's a good, numerous items, but of course we got the retirees, they take up a couple pages, don't they? Okay. Anybody have any questions about the finance section? If not, set an all yes? Yes. Yes. All right. Go to the personnel section. Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Rowdy,
Second.
second by Carol. Okay. Bill?
Okay, item A, employment of short, long-term substitute professional personnel. Item B, transfer of professional personnel. Item C, employment of extracurricular personnel. Item D, leave of absence. And item E, retirements / resignations.
Anybody have any questions or concerns about any of those items? All right, is that an all yes on the personnel items? Yeah. All yes, okay. All right, comments, board members, any questions or concerns? Mr. Lindsay, any information from you, please?
Yes, got a couple of things. First, I think Mr. Midkiff already notified you that there will not be any hearings on April the 5th. The two people that was concerned in that, I gave you a letter, and Sean, I laid a letter there for you too.
Thank you.
On Friday, we received word that our Title II funding, we would be receiving that. So, went and talked to Mr. McCormick, who was the TIS, who was being put on transfer. And he's being put on transfer because he was a social studies teacher and a TIS, so we would go to his other certification if we didn't have a TIS, and let him know that that money had been restored, and therefore he would not need to be transferred. At the same time, Mr. McCormick would have been bumping Ms. Vance, who was on the RIF list, but because the Title II funding coming through Friday, there was no need to move Mr. McCormick, therefore there was no need to move Ms. Vance. So everything worked out great there, and we had a couple of aides that we put on transfer, and we had a couple of vacancies, and they bid on those vacancies, so we had two aides that we had on the RIF list, but because these aides bid on the vacancies, the people on the RIF list are no longer there. So basically, we're riffing a half-time aide, and then we are riffing a Title I teacher at Gown Valley, and that may come back also if we get our Title I funding. So we're in real good shape. So we're just thankful that we got this letter Friday about the Title II funding that was restored.
I think Mr. King's been told all along we weren't gonna get him. It's a good surprise.
I've got plenty of documentation to say, don't do it.
But I'd also like to comment, this Title II funding is year to year. We may be in this same position next year. If the funding don't come through, we may be looking at the same situation.
But that's a bridge we don't have to cross for now until next year, right?
That's correct, and we're very thankful for that.
So that scenario, Mr. McCormick would just transfer him socially, would Mrs. Vance have been
She would
terminated?
not, she would have been terminated because she only had social studies certification, and she was the lowest,
She's a lead senior?
lead senior in the county in social studies, correct?
Okay, I thought so. Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Works out really well because she's an excellent teacher. So,
Yeah, we heard that too. Good.
I don't have anything else.
Oh, that's all you had?
Oh, that's all we
Set
had.
here. Right back to this.
No, I don't even have post-its. I don't even read hides that post-its.
Don't look under there. Okay, well, that is good news about that, and that all the other, like the service personnel that were being affected, that those things worked out too. That's great. Okay. Well, if there's nothing further, let's adjourn until April the 3rd, 2018, at 6 p.m. here at the county office. Okay,
before we do that,
Yes.
let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
You suppose the recorder that normally sits up here with us picked everything up sitting over there?
Well, I don't know.
I just noticed it wasn't up here. If not, you took great notes, right?
Well, I have it turned on. Was I supposed to put it up
Yeah,
there?
usually,
That's,
Oh, okay.
that's
Okay.
we'll see.
You go back to type up the meeting, the notes of the meeting, if you can't hear it, just ask Bill, he can remember everything. Sean's got video.
And notes, pretty good notes.
John, he just pictured it and showed it to you.
We just gotta be careful when he live streams, right?
There wasn't one bad comment about what was said. It was complimentary, actually.
We try to think about that, but we forget sometimes.
I didn't know he was doing it.
Well,
If I'm doing this,
He always
that's your sign.
When you're moving, then we.
If I'm holding my phone in my hand, that's,
he always records, so we're just getting used to that. With the live stream, we weren't going.
need a red light to give you a signal.
What they're laughing about, I had a potty mouth.
Other than that, it was.
It could have been. Now, usually, Susie, that's what they do, I guess, just so they can hear us all, is they just set it up here somewhere. I didn't even think about it. I'm usually trying to figure out how to turn it off.
I didn't either, but I knew that you always start reaching for it, to turn it off,
Yeah.
and when you adjourn, I'm like, wait, where's it at? And I saw it sitting over on the box, I'm like, uh-oh.
It might pick up over there anyway. Okay, we have a motion then to adjourn from whom?
Me.
Mr. Baker. Second. Mr. Curry, second that. All yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?